How much how much of life experience actually changes the perspective that we have on our lives? Hi, can you hear? My name is Keishavante, and this is From Your Big Sister, a series where we talk about things that desperately need to be talked about, or I kind of just rant about what's ever on my mind at the time. Okay, common scenario. Have you ever met two people, or you begin to have a conversation with another person, and you realize that you guys been through the same experience, but their experience is completely different than your experience? You might have thought, oh, that experience ruined me. It gave me some type of form of childhood trauma, and it has messed me up since then. But then you talk to that person, and that person says something along the lines of, yeah, that experience was terrible, but I just knew I did not want to be in the same position again, or I did not want to repeat the same pattern. So what I did is decide to take that experience, use it as a strength, and give myself a different outcome. I normally talk about things that change your life. I normally talk about behaviors that can alter decisions, that can also plummet you. I wouldn't say plummet, that can also help push you into a newer direction. But for today, I don't want to talk about changing your life. I don't want to talk about changing your life overnight. What I actually want to talk about is something much more quieter, the things that live inside your head, how you decide to take certain situations and use those as either a leverage or an anchor for your life going forward. I know I don't really go into detail about things that happen in my personal life. I know I may have grazed a few things, or I've made a very bland statement about how I'm not where I want to be, or when my situation looks a little bit more like this, then I'll start doing X, Y, and Z. As I've gotten older now, as I've healed, as I've thought about things, as I started to take some of the things that I wanted to do more seriously, meaning that even though my life is not exactly where I want it to be, I thought it couldn't get no more worse. So why not actually start to do some of the things that I've always said I wanted to do when I felt like my life was more centered and perfect? I came to the realization that life does just happen. Some things just does not work out. Sometimes the rug does get swept under your feet. Sometimes you don't get the first 50 jobs you apply to. Sometimes the guy you like doesn't like you. Sometimes the girl that you do like and ended up dating turns out to be a complete bitch. Some accomplishments was actually really worthwhile, or some minor steps that don't really give you the end goal that you're looking for still gives you that same sense of satisfaction and or feeling proud about yourself. The first response, or the immediate response that we give ourselves when any of these things are happening, is, what does this mean now? What does doing this actually mean for me going forward, or how I should now give this energy back to the earth? Should I get back, or should I not get back? I caught myself more than a few times actually thinking about this. When my life altered, I took it very personally. I took it as an attack. I've always asked myself, or I always considered, what about me, or what exactly did I do so wrong that God, the universe, or people around me, or person, whatever the situation may be, decided to sabotage me in order to push me into certain situations to question my character. I come across situations to where I've been so angry or so caught up in my really tense emotions that I often sit here and I think, okay, the first reaction that I have is to normally do this. I would normally show kindness, show grace, or just don't take it very personal. But since I've stepped on the other side of life and I experienced some of the things, and I've been more out and I've gone on city buses, or my social skills have not changed. So I'm always talking with someone, and I talk to people and I hear how they decided to react to certain situations, and I go, that's actually a way more response. It's very common for people to react negatively when they feel like someone's playing in their face. Or it's very common for people to attack back when they feel like they are being attacked. Or they feel like they are being attacked. None of those conclusions that I've made in that moment really came from hard facts. I did not get proof from the universe. I did not get proof from this person. This person did not admit it. I did not have a camera following them before they came into my life. and or during the time of their life. I've never seen them go home. I've never truly seen if someone decided, oh yeah, I had a great time hanging out with Keisha. I've never had any of these things. All of these things were just perspectives that I have based on my experience within the life that I'm living. Our minds doesn't like uncertainty. Our emotion, our nervous system is immediately going to react to try to comfort you. That's when we start coming up with those scenarios. That's when we start coming up with those scenarios. That's when we start giving ourselves our own answers because we need that instant answer in order to know how to perceive or how to move forward on in life. A few years back, I actually did do this often. I was always a high energy, energetic, nice, kind person. And I always assumed every person I came across was the same exact person. Because remember, it's always said that you are always going to reflect, people are always going to reflect who you are. So when it came across a time where I was always happy and energetic, I always thought everybody was around me happy and energetic. When I always wanted to turn up, I always came around people who wanted to turn up. It wasn't until it came to a time where no one was available to do the same things that I was doing, and it made me really confused. The instant thing that I gave everyone else, like I would want someone to give me, is grace. Either I forgot about it, I really am busy, or it's just I really don't want to hang out at this moment. I started to say, this is actually what's happening. This is why this didn't happen. This is why this person said this. And it slowed me down. It made me actually start second guessing myself. I opened that window of clouded judgment. I gave myself, or what is it? Not clouded judgment. I gave myself self-doubt. It's not self-doubt. I started to live in uncertainty. Although I love daydreaming, although I live in my own head every day, all the time, I had to come to the realization that I was only creating stories for myself. I was only giving myself this temporary fix of satisfaction in order to know how I need to move forward in life, instead of actually realizing that I don't need to build this certain perspective in order to move forward. I don't even have to allow whatever perspective that's in front of me. The perspective, and the only perspective that matters, is the perspective that I choose to believe that actually fits within me. I say this once and I say this in every single video that I ever made, just because I want to know if you and I are alike. If you've also experienced these things that I'm experiencing. If you haven't, I would love to open the door to show you what these experiences have taught me, so that way you can learn from me. With all those things that I've listed earlier, maybe you have also went through one or two of those things. You have applied for a job and never heard nothing back, or got it and just assumed you weren't qualified. You've applied for 30 to 20 of these jobs and no one heard you back, and you heard back from no one, and you instantly thought, everyone's hating me, everyone's out to get me, no one wants to see me good, everybody just wants to get in my way, why can't I do X, Y, and Z? So the interesting thing, or the best thing about this, is that you're just trying to protect yourself from the pain of rejection, or fear of failure, or the heartbreak of a friendship or connection that you may have with anyone. And although you are feeling like you're doing the best thing for yourself, actually you're kind of just postponing it or intensifying the pain for yourself later on, when the truth comes out, or you come to a realization, like myself years later, that the only thing that was really stopping you at this time, or the only thing that was really making things way worse, is yourself. Right? Maybe ask yourself if the only story you keep repeating yourself is the only available story out there. Is the thing that you keep giving yourself as the excuse or the explanation or the answer is actually the only answer? There's always one side to one story. There's always the truth and the lie in a story. Oh, and there can always be two things can also exist at the same time. Perspective doesn't ask you to ignore anything. Perspective doesn't ask for you to ignore your reality. Perspective actually just stops you from assuming the worst scenario. The hardest thing about telling yourself is that you're not holding yourself back, that you are not in your own way. That is another hard truth that we have to accept about ourselves, or we have to keep telling ourselves, because who wants to admit their truth? Why would we want to sit here and say, yes, I am holding myself back, or yes, I am in my own way? I'm not going to sit here and give both of us this expectation that we always have to take a positive outcome out of every single painful lesson that's out there. Because truth be told, every lesson is just sometimes meant to be painful. It's meant to be painful, it's meant to be stuck, just so you can know that this is something you never want to go back to. Now, whether you decide to alter that and think of that as the positive outcome, then that's great. But overall, you should not neglect yourself from feeling that negative outcome within the lesson that you are learning. Because truth be told, honestly, everything is painful. Whether you stub your toe, whether you didn't get the highest grade on the test that you wanted, people are going to disappoint us. Doors are going to close just before we feel like we need that one door in order to go through and make it to the other side to get us out the rut that we're in at that exact moment. Perspective is the superpower to give us the ability to decide what we're looking at. And that's just what I wanted to talk about, that we actually do not give enough attention to how our perspective alters certain things in our life, how our perspective has a great big deal of how we can see the brighter side of life, or we can be our own anchor into the things that we want to pursue going forward. It's pretty popular that when those things happen, we tend to shun away and never do certain things again. Like, we can go through, like, you can go and you could take out a loan. You could take out a loan to bet on yourself, and you can take that and go to school, and then you get into school, and then you did not make it to school because school is too hard, and now you got all this debt, and now it's stuck with you for the rest of your life. We were raised in this system to believe going to school, taking out loans is scary things. So when the truth is, they're not really scary. They're only scary because no one teaches the financial steps outside of taking that loan. How often you should pay on the loan, the interest rate with the loan, the taxes on the loan, how the loan goes to your credit when you're not paying it. And with those things fear-mongering you, you are never again to take out a student loan. You won't even try to pay off the student loan. You already took it out. You just know, okay, that was it. That's enough for me. And you walk away. Next time you come between a decision, or next time you come to a situation that kind of alters your perspective of things, I want you to ask yourself, if I decided to take this perspective and go forward in a way that I normally act, how would I be on the other side of that perspective? And then I want you to take that same perspective, look at it on the other side of the scope, and think, okay, this is my initial reaction, but I want to take this route, and let me see what exactly that might take me. This side might be a little blurry because it's not a decision that you normally make, but just give it a shot. You never know what you might find. That's all I have for you today. Again, my name is Keisha, and this is From Your Big Sister, and I'll see you in the next one.